Hello Minecrafters and welcome to the first video of 2026, if you don't count the last video of course. Anyways, today I have something really special to show to all of you. You see, 2 years ago I showed to all of you this elevator right here. And a lot of you seem to really enjoy it based on all of the views and interactions I received from these two videos. So thank you very much for that. However, looking back at it now, this elevator kinda sucks. It has a lot of problems. The first problem is the redstone. As you can see, it is very messy. Like, what is this? Why do I need a bunch of comparators here? It's just very messy, and because of that, building this elevator and also maintaining the elevator is very difficult, because when this thing breaks, you won't be able to know like where it breaks. So yeah, it's very hard to debug and fix the elevator. The second problem is this elevator only supports up to 9 floors. So if you want more floors in your elevator, this elevator will not be able to do it because of how I encoded the floors in this elevator, which is very unfortunate. The third reason is this elevator is not that tall. As you can see, it's only 2 blocks tall. So every time you go up or down in the elevator, you were gonna hit your head up on the ceilings, which creates a very unpleasant experience when using the elevator. And the final reason or problem why this elevator kinda sucks, and it also the reason why I can't really call this elevator realistic, like the most realistic, because this elevator cannot handle multiple requests. What I mean by that is, let's say I select this floor to call the elevator up here, but then another person, let's say up here, press this button to call the elevator from here to here. This elevator will gonna fail that simply because the redstone here doesn't support that. And because it doesn't support multiple requests, I can't really call this elevator the most realistic elevator, right? So yeah, sorry for clickbaiting you a little bit. Because of all of these problems, I have decided to make a new one. And after a lot of hard work, I present to all of you the most realistic elevator in Minecraft, and I really mean it this time. This, in my opinion, is the objectively most realistic elevator in Minecraft. Now that you have seen the showcase of the elevator, let's get into the redstone, shall we? First, let's talk about the elevator cabin. On the right is the old version, and on the left is the new version. Now, as you can see from the old version, I don't really have anything up here, but the new version has another fly machine segment over here. Now, the idea I had back when I designed this thing was I tried to have only one set of fly machines that controls the elevator both up and down. However, because I only use one set, the amount of blocks that I need to move is very limited, and yeah, with this configurations I can only make the cabin like 2 blocks high like this, which is very unfortunate. However, in the new version, I decided to scrap that one set and use 2 fly machines. So one fly machine we're gonna push the elevator cabin up, and one fly machine to push the elevator cabin down. This means that I can attach significantly more blocks, and as you can see, it is much simpler than this one, and it's not even that like that much bigger in my opinion. And because of how the blocks here are exposed, it's much easier to just attach pistons like this to remove the blocks. So if I just grab a lever like this and I power this line, as you can see, it's much easier to make the elevator go instead of this, because there are some blocks here, so I have to do some pretty wonky stuff in order to move this like these glass blocks out of the way. Whereas here I don't have to do that, just 2 sets of piston like this to push and pull the blocks, so it's significantly easier. So how can you move this elevator cabin? Well, it's very simple. First, you select the floor that you want. So let's say I want to stop at this floor. I just select it like this, and now this comparator will gonna be not cancel anymore. And now when this composer on the elevator cabin is in the back, like in the back of this comparator, which is not cancel anymore, we will receive a pulse, and we know that the elevator is at the destination floor. And now how can we move the elevator down? Well, it's very easy. For the bottom piston, piston but fly machines, you only need to activate this piston, which updates this observer, which updates this piston, and this piston will push this fly machine down, and this fly machine will go down. Of course, if you select this floor right here, you do need to activate this piston to stop the bottom fly machine from going all the way down. So yeah, we have to do this. And now if I just go up here and update this piston, this fly machine will gonna go down like that. And for the top, it's also very simple. All you need to do is update these 2 observers at the same time, and the whole elevator will gonna go down. And now when the elevator reaches the correct floors, as you can see, everything just automatically opens. And the way that we stop the elevator is that we power this piston at the right time, because extending pistons are immovable objects, so we just time them perfectly so that we use the piston itself to stop the fly machine, which is very clever in my opinion. And this makes the redstone significantly easier when it comes to stopping and like initializing the fly machines. Now let's talk about request handling. How can our system handle a lot of requests, like multiple requests that happens at different times? So the first problem we need to handle is how can we store all the inputs? How can we store as many inputs or as many requests as we want? For the floor inputs is very simple. We just encode each floor with a trapdoor like this. So every time we hit a button, the corresponding trapdoor will activate, and this we're gonna go down to a SR latch, and an SR latch allows us to store 1 bit of information, and using this I can store 1 bit of information for the floor. So if a floor is selected, I can store that information inside an SR latch. I do this for all of the floors. With this approach, I can handle as many floors as I want, and you can have as many floors in your elevators as you want. So we have successfully solved the 9 floors limit of the previous elevator. Now the floor request over here is very easy, but what about the node block input, aka the input inside of the elevator cabin? Because well, we only stand inside of the elevator cabin and we have to somehow handle multiple requests inside here as well. Well, it's actually very simple. The first thing we need to do is we need to have a way in order to access all of these SR latches using just node block clicking. And the way I do that is by using a counter design. And this is the counter design right here. Now here is the counter design that I use for this elevator. And this is just a small version so I can show you what's going on. It's very simple. Now this is the part I need to clarify, that this is the reason, one of the reasons why this elevator does not work on Bedrock. You see, when you update this rail with a short pulse like this, the rail will not gonna update. Like intuitively, you could think that when you power the rail, this rail will gonna update first, and then this rail, and then this rail, and then this, and then this. But in reality, it's the reverse. So when you update the rails here, the first rail over here we're gonna update, so not this rail but this. So when you update this observer, this rail we're gonna update first, and then this, and then this, and finally this rail. And the cool thing about observer is that it can detect that update order, and it can also update the droppers in that order, meaning if you update the rails from here to here, that means this dropper we're gonna update first, and then this dropper, and then this dropper, and then this dropper, and finally this dropper. This means this will happen. You will count up by 1, and you can keep do this until you reach the end. And now at the end is also very fascinating because the rails are keep updating this way. So what you essentially get over here is an instant dropper line. So it just go from here all the way to here immediately, which is very cool in my opinion. And because of that, this dropper is this dropper counter design right here will not gonna work on any other versions other than Java. And I have to also clarify that this is vanilla Java edition. So if you have like plugins or stuff that messes with redstone in like your server, and I cannot guarantee that this elevator will gonna work, unfortunately. Now this counter design can also be expanded infinitely, but you might be wondering that the rails here, well, yeah, it's cool that you can do that, but rails can only go so far, right? So if I just power this line, this rail line, eventually, as you can see, this rail is not being powered by the power source here. So how can we extend this rail line? Well, introducing instant wires or instant rail wires. Now this instant wire design right here was showcased on YouTube by Kaisen. I believe he was the one who discovered this, and also with the help of Inspector Talent, who is also another well-known technical redstoner in the redstone community. So thanks to them, this project is possible. I am too dumb for this, and I actually don't know how this works. So if you want to know how this instant wire works, I will link the video explaining how this thing works in the description. But the cool thing about this instant wire is that the update order for the rails stay the same. So if you power the rails all the way from here, the rail over here we're gonna update first. This means that this problem here doesn't exist anymore, and we can have the dropper or counter right here as long as we want. So now we have successfully designed a theoretically infinitely supported floors elevator, so you can have as many floors as you want. Now that we have all of our requests stored in this array of SR latches, we need to read them over here. So I just have another instant line. This one is more common using redstone dust and piston like here to update the piston here, and this piston we're gonna push the blocks down and we are gonna send them the black circuit, and the black circuit It what determines how the elevator will gonna move up or down, and this is where the interesting part begins. Previously, in the old elevator, the black circuit is what determines how the elevator will gonna move. So either the elevator will gonna go up or down is determined by this part right here. And the way this part works is it evaluates the current floor that the elevator is in with the request floor. So if the request floor is bigger, like the number bigger than the current floor, so let's say I requested floor 2 and the elevator cabin is at floor 1, 2 is greater than 1, so the black circuit we're gonna compute that over here if I remember correctly. So like over here, that comparator is what computing whether the elevator is above or below, and if the request floor is also above or below the elevator. And from here we can determine if the elevator should go up or should go down based on these two bubble columns right here. Now this approach is fine for one request at a time, but for multiple requests this requires a bunch of computation, which is not really that fun. So I have to come up with something different, something more efficient that can handle an array of requests. And luckily, humans have that. Introducing the scan disk scheduling algorithms or elevator scheduling algorithm. This algorithm right here is the key to handling multiple requests, and from the arrays of requests that we have, we can essentially determine if the elevator should go up or down. And here are all of the steps for the algorithm. You can read this at this website. I will link it in the description. Okay, so here is the scan algorithm, but modeled after a state diagram. And if you are wondering what state diagram this is, I am modeling this diagram based on the Mo state diagram model. That's how I call its name. Yeah, here's how the algorithm actually works in my elevator. It's very simple. So here I have some encoding. We have above, which are the floors above the elevator, and below, which are floors below the elevator. So now, let's say we are at state up. So it means that the scan algorithm needs to store a state of the elevator. So let's say the state of the elevator is currently up. So it will keep gonna go up, right? So if it is up and it receives 0, 0, which means there are no requests, it will gonna stay up. If it receives 0, 1, so now it detects that there is a floor or floors, there are multiple floors below the elevator. Now it will gonna switch state from up to down, following this arrow right here. So now it is at state down. Now at state down, it will gonna go down and then it will gonna stay at one request. Then it will continue check. Let's say it checks and we go to 0, 0, so there are no flaws or no requests. Then it will stay at the state down, and then if it receives a flaw or some flaws or requests below the elevator like 0, 1 here, the state will not gonna change, and instead it will keep gonna go down. And then when let's say we have a request from above the elevator, now it will gonna switch from down to up, and because of that the elevator will now, instead of going down, it will gonna go up. In the case of 1, 1, if the state is up, it will just gonna be up, and if the state is down, it will just gonna be down. So it will gonna keep its state just like that. And from the state diagram with the input right here, we can create a truth table. Now from here you can create a truth table, and I'm too lazy to actually fill in all of the numbers here, but essentially you can create a truth table based on the state diagram. And from the truth table you can make this equation right here, and these are Boolean equations. My notation can be a little bit wrong, but this is how I write things. And with these two Boolean equations right here, I can design a circuit. From those two equations, I can design a circuit like this. And if you are wondering what program I'm using for simulating the circuit here, it's called Digital Sim by Sebastian Lake. I will gonna link this program in the description so you can check it out. It's very cool. But anyways, with the circuit right here, I can simulate the state diagram. So for example, if below and above are both 0, it should keep state. So now the state is up. If I provide a clock signal, as you can see, the state we're gonna stay it up. If I, let's say, this is up, let's provide a floor, let's say above. Because the floor is above the elevator, we should have the up signal, right? As you can see, we have the up signal right there. And now let's say we receive both below and above, meaning we both have requests above the elevator and below the elevator. But since the state is up, it should keep the state, as you can see. But now let's say we have a request or multiple requests below the elevator. Now it should switch state to down. As you can see, now it's down, and it will gonna keep the state until we have like 1-0, meaning there are requests above the elevator. So now it's gonna switch back. So with this, I can use a little bit of computational redstone to implement the circuit in here. So this black circuit port right here is the circuit that I show in the simulation. And we even have the latches to store the state and a bunch of OR AND gates in here in order to actually do the Boolean logic. And with this, because everything is combinational, there is no computation, and this means everything can happen significantly faster. And even if this array gets bigger, the time it takes for a request to be processed will stay the same because everything is combinational, and the scalability of this thing is basically infinite, and the time it takes will not gonna scale with the scale that we have here. Now there's one problem, and that is how can we know whether a floor is above or below the elevators? Well, we can either go with the computational route that I show in my last elevator, meaning we can subtract stuff in order to get the exact location of the elevator, or a more simpler approach is to just hard code everything in. So for each floor, I have hard coded all of the possible like floor requests, and when an elevator reaches a floor, it will gonna update that specific line, which tells me like all of the available floors or requests that the elevator at that floor can accept. And this way is, yeah, it's a bit bigger, but it's a lot simpler than just do a bunch of calculations. Here we don't really have any calculation, we just have a bunch of priority queues to just encode the all of the requests possible for each floors, and then we just combine all of them to send into our circuit here. And the circuit, yeah, the scan algorithm here, we're gonna take all the information that it has and gives out a signal for the elevator to know whether to go up or to go down. Finally, I just have some stuff over here to reset everything every time the elevator reaches a floor, and that's basically it. That's all of the redstone you need to know. Very simple, right? Now there's something I need to tell you. I cannot guarantee that this elevator will gonna work 100% of the time. There will be bugs, and even though I have tested this as much as I can, I cannot like remove all of the bugs that this elevator has. Because of that, I do have some like mechanisms for you that are in place in the elevator in order for you to quickly reset everything. So everything should work normally once you reset everything. And I'm gonna show you how can you do that. Okay, let's say the elevator just breaks for some reason. I don't know, maybe server lag, or maybe you click the buttons or no block at the wrong time, which makes everything breaks for some reason. Then what you need to do is first you need to go down here, and you should see all of these copper bulbs turned on. If that is the case, all you need to do is just update these rails and update them one at a time. What you need to do, very simple, grab a lever and just do this. Just keep doing this, okay? And after you do that, everything should look something like this. Then over here, if you see this redstone line right here, right, this redstone line, and I think I will gonna make this easier if you want to make a wall download, is I will gonna place a redstone lamp here. So if this redstone lamp is on, you go down here and you click this node block, okay? This node block right here, not this node block. This node block don't do anything. You need to click this node block underneath. Then over here, you also need to do click this node block, and that should be everything. Like everything should work now. Now remember, when you do all of that, be sure to grab like an unmovable object like obsidian and place some over here, and also rebuild the elevator cabin. Now the way you rebuild it is, you see this wall block right here, you have to place it diagonally to the piston like this, and you also need to remember to have a gap between observers and piston like this, okay? And that should be everything. The elevator cabin is very easy to build, and once you build everything like this, and also be sure to build it on the first floor so everything should work properly. Remember to also put this composter on signature of 8, so you just place stuff like cake in. You place cake inside a composter until you see this white texture. If you see that, that means you are good, okay? And if you do all of that, 99%, well, not 99, I'm too confident, 90% of the time things should work normally again. If you do all of that and the elevator still not work, then what you need to do is you need to head to the Redstone Army Discord server, aka Wings Discord server. Here you can get a lot of help from not only the people there but also me, because I'm very active on the server and there are a lot of talented people here who are willing to help you. Now in order to get help here, it's very simple. You go to the Redstone help channel after going through all of the rules of the server, and you make a post. But before making a post, be sure to read the guidelines, okay? Read the post guidelines. I've seen so many posts where people don't read the guidelines, so people like us cannot help you with your redstone problems, okay? So just create a post there, and if I see my elevator post on the redstone help channel, I will make sure to help you as much as I can. Now, why do I recommend this server? Well, there are several reasons. The first reason is I don't know how to make a Discord server and also host and maintain a Discord server. The second reason is the Redstone Army Discord server is one of the most popular Discord server in terms of Redstone, like one of the most famous or popular Redstone Discord server that I know of. And there are a lot of talented people here who are willing to help you. So just be respectful in the server and you will be able to get help, okay? Alright, so that's basically it for today's video. A very quick one. I just want to showcase this to all of you because I'm really proud of this elevator. I have improved a lot from the previous design, and I think that you should be able to build this much more cleanly because the redstone is much cleaner. As you can see, there's no spaghetti redstone. Everything is organized correctly. and I hope that you will be able to use this thing without any bugs. I hope that, okay, but I cannot guarantee that this thing will gonna work 100% of the time, which is that's just a redstone. Like you can't really sure 100%, which is yeah, very unfortunate, but hey, that's engineering for you. Anyways, that's the end of today's video. I really hope that you have enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you have also learned something from today's video. Thank you very much for watching again, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a nice day, everyone.